look, I think this has already started because it's been a bit of a mess and we're already into it. But I have a bone to pick with Matt this week.
Go on.
This is how I like to start. Yeah.
All right.
We're doing the thumbnails for a little while, and I noticed that you put your face on the thumbnail this week.
Yeah.
I did. I thought it was only fair if I was on a thumbnail.
Yeah.
Matt hasn't been on one of the new thumbnails yet. It is fair.
But
you were Johnny Depp. I was Lee Harvey Oswald. Matt has appointed himself
Jason Momoa.
Welcome to Multiple Nerdgasm with your hosts, Matt, Luke, and Dan. Multiple Nerdgasm, your guide to all things nerdy.
Jason Momoa.
Aquaman with his shirt off, which is a one-for-one likeness, really.
If I was Jason Momoa, I wouldn't even own shirts. Like, what's the point?
I mean, I get what you mean, but I mean, to be clear, I did it because it was funny, not because I thought I could trick people into thinking that was my body.
It was very funny. I told you, didn't I, about my old colleague who met a girl at the Townie, of all places, right?
I mean, I've met girls there. I've never spoken to
you
them
might,
again.
You might have been the same girl. He never spoke to her. She never spoke to him again after he made this comment, right? So they go back to his house. They're fooling around. He lives in Newtown. They're fooling around. She takes off her shirt. Great. He thinks this is great. She takes off her bra, and he realizes that she's been wearing a padded bra.
Oh, yeah.
And he calls her out on it. And he goes, a padded bra? So I could have been wearing a muscle suit under this T-shirt.
Oh, boy.
What?
Needless to say, she went home.
Yeah. Okay.
I do not understand that.
Yeah, because he kicked her out.
yeah, that's right. False advertising.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, I don't understand people like that.
Yeah. Well, look, I wasn't trying to fool anybody, right?
Well, you fooled me, Matt. You fooled me. I was like, fuck, Matt's been working out and getting tattoos.
Well, maybe listeners, I apologize. If you or anybody or a loved one were fooled by my
We're back at Matt's house, ready to have sex with him.
Yeah, that's right. I'm sorry I misled you. Actually, I need to apologize for something else too. While I'm apologizing.
Is this misleading Graham Hancock news? Because I really want to lean into that this week.
Yeah, I need to walk back some stuff I said last week.
Because I just listened to that this morning. And I loved every word of what you said, and I'm very disappointed that you're about to walk any of this back.
I'm pretty sure I actually haven't listened to it in a little bit, but I've so since we talked about it, so I watched the whole show and like last week, and then we recorded.
Yeah,
and then after that, I was like, I want to learn more, and so I actually went and watched some stuff by some archaeologists and listened to a podcast by some archaeologists.
Called We Shouldn't Have to Explain This, but here we go.
I think one thing in particular that I said last week, I remember that I said this, was why can't they just have a look if those are rooms underneath
Fair point,
Penang?
I thought.
And I'll tell you why they don't. And it's because an actual archaeologist said, we'd fucking love to, mate. Are you going to pay for it?
Right.
So it's not that they're like, nah, we don't believe you. They'd love to have a look.
Yeah. And just to be clear, archaeologists don't excavate out of their own pocket. They need grants from universities. And actually, there's a hierarchy of places and topics that will get you funding easier than others.
Yes. And the fact that, a lot of what Graham Hancock says is unfalsifiable.
You can't prove a negative.
Right, and it's kind of like very vague and loose, and it goes against kind of the standard thought about things, and it's not that things don't happen. Like they found Göbekli Tepe, like 10, 20, like wasn't it? It was recent, a recent discovery.
It was very recent.
Changed everything.
To be clear, we didn't think there were stone structures that old. When we found it,
hunter gatherers built them.
Yeah.
But now they found it. They don't go, well, someone else must have built them. No, they just think we were wrong. They did build them clearly because there they are. Like, So so nobody is going to pay to look into this stuff. And I mean, Graham Hancock can pay for it. Surely Netflix just gave him a bunch of money. Why doesn't he do it?
To be clear, Graham Hancock's daughter is the head of programming at Netflix. So
Yeah.
let's just put that out there.
Yeah, I found that out too this week.
Fine, Dad. Fine. I'll play your fucking documentary.
Look, it's done pretty well for them from what I can gather. So
Look, I haven't seen the doco. I have read one or two of his books over the years because he's been writing since the 80s. And when I was about 20, I was massively into this stuff. You said last week something that I really held on to. You said you wanted to believe. And I wanted to believe as well, man. Because this is far more interesting than the real stuff, right?
he's very
But it's just
compelling. Even so, I've seen interviews with some of the people who are on that show. There's a woman who's on the show, one of the archaeologists, the woman in Malta.
She's
that
one
he
of the
speaks to.
archaeologists that hates him.
She's tried to sue
now that
them,
she's been on the show.
and she
right.
said he took it all out of context, and honestly, he's made me look like an idiot amongst my peers because she's like, he's misleading what he said, that kind of stuff. There's another guy who was on there who said, actually, he's very nice, and we had a really good chat, and he's very charming, and I can see how he he was nice. It was fun talking to him. Then I watched the show, and I was like, oh, that's not really what I meant. But he's like, I didn't feel like it was malicious, but he's like, that was a bit cheeky.
Well, he certainly has an agenda. But the thing is, it's basically the ancient aliens hypothesis, but just with ancient humans instead of ancient aliens. It's
but he sits on that stuff now. He doesn't talk about the alien stuff. And there's another thing he doesn't talk about too that I found out this week is because one of the biggest things is, right, he says there's this ancient civilization that taught them all this stuff, but like, where's all their stuff, right? Because he's saying, they already knew they already knew agriculture, they knew how to build these
in Atlantis?
megaliths. Yeah. But where's
it's gone, Matt?
Where
it's
is
under
it?
the fucking ocean. Oh, well, that's the $1 million question, Matt.
So they built monoliths, right? Because they knew how to do it. Where are the ones they built, right?
Under the
water,
ocean.
Matt. Yeah, Matt, you're not listening.
Okay, but that's actually not technically what he thinks, right?
Yeah.
Also,
Matt,
he thinks when he says they were advanced, apparently this is in the books. He doesn't talk about this anymore so much. He said something on Joe Rogan that kind of alluded to it. He thinks they didn't need tools and stuff because they had mind powers. That's what he means.
That back. That's what
because but he obviously still thinks it, right?
Because remember, back in the 70s and 80s, you could
it.
say shit like that, and like actual professors would go, I didn't think of that. All right, let's consider that. But now everyone's like, no. As soon as you say telekinesis, I'm out.
Yeah, unless he has changed his mind on that stuff. I guess I don't know for sure. If he's literally ruled all that out, that's fine. But it does like, I mean, yeah.
The thing is,
there's just no evidence.
If there were pyramids in Egypt and there were no evidence of shittier, rudimentary pyramids before,
yes,
I would say somebody might have taught them. But we've got square buildings. Then we've got square with a pointed top. Then we've got the step pyramid.
Yeah.
Then we've got the perfect pyramids. It's an evolution. It's very clear.
No, I don't know if I mentioned this last week because I did kind of pick up on this too. In the episode of the show, Dan, you really should watch it. Like, it's still,
absolutely
even with all this,
you've sold me on it.
It's really entertaining, regardless, right? Even if you know it's horse shit, he's very compelling.
I'll watch any show Von Daniken comes out with, so I'll watch him too.
Yeah, no, it's good.
Hancock as well.
And like production values, and even just as a way to see these places, it's fucking great. Like, because there's beautiful drone shots over and stuff. Like ignore some of the stuff he says is horseshit, but it's still cool. But then he goes to Göbekli Tepe, and he's talking about how did these hunter gatherers wake up one day and just build this biggest monolithic site like on their first try? He goes, this is the first one, and then in the same episode, he then goes like a couple of miles over to Karahan Tepe, which is older.
Sure. Yeah.
And it's like, did you forget what you just said? Like, they didn't just build that. First, they built that one over there and probably others. Like,
yeah. Shittier ones. Wooden ones, probably, that burnt down.
Yes.
Probably littler ones. They started pretty small.
Yeah, that's right. Mud ones that no longer exist. I read something fascinating this week, and it's a total given, but I just never thought about it before, right? So you know how there's prehistoric paintings in caves all over the world, right? Why do you think our prehistoric ancestors particularly painted in caves? What was the reason caves were preferable for painting?
Out of the elements, so they'd last longer?
You're half right.
Interesting.
They didn't just paint in caves. They painted fucking everywhere.
Ah,
But
okay,
only the
it's
ones
gone.
in caves
Right.
survived. So
And
it's like a confirmation bias. We think, oh, they painted in caves. No, mate, they painted on trees. They painted on rock walls. They painted on the ground. It's just we don't have those.
That's another thing. There's this archaeologist, Stefan Milo, I think, on YouTube. I'm pretty sure he's the one who pointed this out. And I was like, oh, yeah, of course. Graham Hancock and these guys a lot talk about this message, right? That these people were trying to convey this message with these, these pillars at Göbekli Tepe and all this kind of stuff. And then they talk about the messages from the cave paintings and that kind of stuff. And he's like, they weren't writing messages for us. They didn't give a shit about us. They weren't thinking, in 10,000 years, these fucking advanced people are going to want to know what I ate for breakfast. No, they were just recording what animals they saw and stuff.
Yeah.
It was interesting.
Even the Bible, which does purport to be a message for future people, doesn't talk in ways future people can understand without a lot of historical context.
They had no concept of that.
Yeah.
Everything, it's all for the time. I saw an elephant today.
The cave paintings we have, yes, they're beautiful and amazing and incredible, but mostly they think they were probably just to let other people know, this is the animals that are around if you're hungry.
Yeah.
That's why.
That's right. This is the area where there's bison.
Yeah, and that's why they
remember that next time we migrate past here.
They didn't really paint predators because you don't hunt them.
Who gives a shit about them?
Yeah. We just paint the food. These are the ones that you can go after.
Don't we get bragged that Australia's got some of the oldest cave paintings?
We've got a lot of the oldest shit.
Yeah, Australia's got. Isn't there some? This might be fucking pseudo archaeology as well. Isn't there some cave system in the desert where they've got huge megafauna because they all just fell in there and got preserved? Yeah, okay. I wasn't sure if that was actually real or not.
Yeah,
I don't know what to believe anymore, Dan.
I'm staying out of that. I don't know about that.
Yeah.
I'll
say it's fact. I'll say it's fact.
People got to Australia far quicker than anyone can really explain.
Yeah, that's true.
Basically a few thousand years, but in the spectrum of things, a few thousand years after people left Africa, they were already in Australia. Yeah,
because they thought it was a long, long, long time ago. No, they thought it was not that long ago. Not that long ago means nothing. They thought it was a period of time ago, and they've since discovered, actually, no, it was way before that. They had to look it back. I remember, recently, right?
50,000 years or something.
Yeah.
Incredible. Yeah, about that.
Insane.
You know what I found out recently too? If this is multiplearchaeology.com, right?
It can be.
All dogs, the whole world, right, are descended from one specific pack of wolves in Siberia. Dogs didn't evolve all over the world.
Sure.
During the last ice age, the glacial maximum, right? There was this isolated... Yeah, last glacial maximum. There was this, because it is fucking cold. It is so cold. Isolated group of humans in Siberia who domesticated the dog, to cut a long story short, right? And then when the ice retreated, they were like, fine, we can fucking leave. And they walked into Europe, and they walked across the Bering Land Bridge into America. And those dogs went everywhere. So every dog in the world right now is related to... This is why
I sort of laugh at, evolution deniers.
Oh, sure.
Because, we have bred so many forms of new dogs, which is evolution.
Even modern times.
In The Selfish Gene, is it Selfish Gene? No, it's The Greatest Show by Dawkins. He talks about that. He talks about, I could prove it to you right now with animals that gestate really quickly, like dogs.
Yes.
Is that you can completely come up with a new species in 50 years if you just keep selecting.
Yes.
They do. This is a weird, not quite the same thing, but that's how the way that they breed
listeners.
grapes.
I want to talk about some video games. Too, so.
I was just going to say that I learned this from Gabriel Knight 3, but there's they do this. Because there's this really cool correlation because Gabriel Knight 3 is the one that's about Jesus' bloodline, because that whole Holy Blood, Holy Grail thing. He has a bloodline.
Yep.
And there's vampires in it, and they make wine, and there's a whole parallel about how they breed grapes. And the blood and stuff it's well done in the story. It's good.
Oh yeah, if you want to get your mind blown, Google what fruits don't exist in nature. Pretty much all of the ones we know about don't exist.
I saw actually as part of that part of the stuff people talking about, like Göbekli Tepe and all that kind of stuff about the domestication of plants, right? Because we had to do that as well. People talk about domestication of animals, and then it was like this picture that was like a carrot through the ages.
Yeah,
and that's a fucking rough carrot at the beginning.
That's the thing, like,
why would you even try?
It's like it's just a stick.
It's the root.
Kept improving them so they looked better, so people would want to eat them compared to what they were.
Yeah, and like
only eat the fat ones, throw the rest away, and therefore only the fat ones are throwing their seeds around.
Yeah.
For 10,000 years, then you've got a carrot.
All right,
and that's not counting that like Victorian era onward, deliberate like mass producing of things.
Yeah. But look, let's jump into video games because I know Dan is dying to talk about one.
Man,
I could do one thing and I knew exactly what he was talking about.
I could do a whole episode just on Alan Wake 2.
Yeah.
Fuck me.
I've got to play this game.
Me. Just kept
you do. It is
better.
It is probably the best written game. Full stop. It's just
full stop. That's a full stop.
It's just the best written game. It's amazing.
Yeah,
and the more I think about it, and the more I read about it, and the more I watch reviews about it, the more I like it too, because things get pointed out that I didn't even see.
But you don't have to go and read or watch to.
Oh yeah, no. You can understand it just by playing. Although, evidently, when you play it again, it's different.
Yes.
As in, when you go back to the start, you retain the knowledge and even items that you've found the first time through, and there are new and expanded story points.
Yes.
Because it's all about story. It's all about backstory and narrative. And you essentially just go through faster because you've achieved these things and you know what the puzzles are and stuff, and just piece together more of the backstory, which I'm pretty excited to
which
do.
I really wish they would have released a patch or released some new achievements, so I would go back and do it. But even without that, I'm still thinking about going back.
The lure of the great story that you've just described is not enough for Luke.
No,
that's right.
It nearly is. Like, I am seriously considering going back.
Seriously, if Remedy have made a game that Luke will play for no achievements, then they have succeeded and they should just be given the crown.
Yes.
I mean, they've always been at the forefront of narrative in games. Max Payne was amazing. Control was amazing. I never played Quantum Break, actually.
Neither did I.
I enjoyed
it was like a whole TV show mixed with a game, right?
Oh yeah, you had to prepare time to watch it because you get to like the end of a sort of their chapter, and now you're going to watch a 40-minute television show.
I almost did the Quantum Break launch in Asia when I was working in Singapore. They had this open pitch, and I pitched this thing that I wanted to do. I wanted to get like, you know what they did when they made the Matrix games and they got actual actors from the movie, but like side characters that were like cheaper to afford, and then made a whole story about them. I wanted to do that with Quantum Break and just get some of the other characters and then expand their story. And I wanted to film this thing with 3 cameras. This is kind of before 3D and all of this. 3 cameras, one pointing there, one pointing there, one pointing there, and they walk into each other's cameras as they play out this scene, and then do it in a booth with 3 large panel TVs. So the actors walk all around you as they're kind of doing this kind of 360. So you walk in and you experience this, and they liked it. They gave us the job, and then eventually they were like, actually, we don't want to spend the money. Let's just do a traditional launch. I was like, oh, damn it. I was really looking forward to it.
But also, I think
at least it's got a good story out of it.
Yeah.
But no, Matt, you need to take time.
I will. All right. I played a little bit of something. I don't want to talk about it a lot. We can actually talk about Alan Wake 2 again afterwards. But just while I think of it, I installed while we were on the call last week, Palworld. I jumped into it. I don't know if it's for me. I literally only played like 5 minutes.
Yeah,
it's a little too
cartoony
and Pokemon-y. It's I don't know if you said this, but I guess I definitely didn't sink in how Breath of the Wild it also is.
Yes.
Oh. Well, you love Breath of the Wild. What's going on?
No, I do, but...
It's all your favourite things mixed together, Matt.
Yes.
You put a Metroid in there and you'll be like, nah, it's not for me.
Wait, has it got Metroid in there?
No.
All right. Oh, Metroid.
Probably get a mod for it.
No, I'll give it more of a chance. I just launched it and I was just like, oh, I don't know. It looks a bit cartoony, but we'll see.
I can see why people are loving it though. But
I literally, I loaded it up.
My 13-year-old
character,
nephew's gonna
picked up
play
some
the shit
sticks.
out of this.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I loaded up, made a character, picked up some sticks, talked to somebody, and went, oh, I don't know about this. And then I was like, oh,
did you build anything?
No, I've got a kid.
Also, you've done nothing.
No, exactly. Yeah. That's why I said this is going to be very brief.
I'll say this, Matt. If there's a game that's good enough, you'll make time for it. So
Sure.
One part of Alan Wake 2, right, is revolving around, I don't know if you remember, very rudimentary mention of Thomas Zane from the first game. So this is the guy. Remember when Max goes to the cabin and he finds some poems written by Thomas Zane?
Yeah.
And he goes, oh, this must have been the guy who was the cabin before me, right?
Sure.
He is a main character in this.
See, now I feel like I'm going to have to play the first one again. I bought the remaster.
It's been remastered.
No, I've got it.
You just have to go through all that tedious combat.
That's why I haven't gotten in. I was like, oh,
put it on easy.
The
put
combat
story mode.
This one is, it's not as tedious, I find.
It's the same. There's just far less of it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So when it happens, you're like, oh shit, I've got to fight now. Because I've been just working on puzzles for the last
Because I played through the
hour
intro of the remaster, where you got to get to the lighthouse and that, and then just the combat, I was just like, I remember,
especially early on when you're just like you're finding Stucky and you're just walking around that log timber yard and you're like,
yes,
am I going to play like 15 hours of this? But the story and the tone of it was so good that you kind of forgave.
Yeah.
But Thomas Zane, you find out more about him, and he was a filmmaker in Finland. They lean much more into the Norse stuff. For this, he was a filmmaker in Finland.
I know about the band.
The band.
Sort of.
Oh man. I've been listening to that fake band, right? And I was disappointed to find that the real band who played those songs don't play that kind of music in real life. They're much more like Coldplay or some.
So I noticed. I knew that too, but that's almost impressive. More impressive.
Yeah.
Right.
So yeah. It's great. But there is a playlist on Spotify of just the in-game music.
Amazing.
It's fantastic. It's gotten me back into like cock rock, right? So,
speaking of, do you know? Just briefly, I found out Justin Hawkins from The Darkness. He has a YouTube channel, and it's very funny.
Okay, I bet it is.
He just reacts to things, talks about stuff. He's very funny.
Yeah.
Weird, but funny.
The Darkness are better than they get credit for, actually.
Sure.
I should go back and listen to some of their stuff.
Band.
But anyway, Thomas Zane, filmmaker in Finland, and then went to America to become a poet. And that's when he went to the island, and that's when he got involved with the not the mental institution, what am I trying to say? The clinic for artists, from the first game. They find one of his lost films in this. And one of the levels is in a cinema, and the film is playing. And if you want, which I fucking did, you can just stand there and watch the movie. It goes for over 20 minutes. And of course it stars Sam Lake, because he just inserts himself into fucking everything. He plays several characters in this, and it's magnificent. It's you will want to watch it in real. It's in Finnish, right?
Yeah.
And it's got the actors, because half the actors are from Finland, but they're dubbed by Americans. Yeah. Now they're all in this, and they get to speak their own language in a fake foreign horror movie.
What is great about this, if you watch Remy, I think they started with Max Payne, which is great, and then I think they got caught into. It was very early, so they were relying on publishers and stuff, so money. Now they've got to a point where we can make whatever we want.
Yes.
Yeah.
And now we're getting this super quality.
Sam Lake must have just been masturbating while he was writing this, going, what would be cool? Oh, I know, this. What else would be cool? This other thing unrelated to it. And I just know that the publisher are going to go, whatever you want, put it in the game. Sure. And we're going to make it so polished. It's not some indie game. This is the most polished AAA, beautifully rendered game you could imagine. Half the time, there's so much live action footage in this game, but there is no cognitive jump between the live action and the animated. Half the time I'm like, what am I watching? Am I watching a 3D render, or am I watching a real life actor right now? I just don't know.
That was a timely moment for that cat to warp into existence.
It's a glitch in the Matrix.
Yeah.
All right, I'll stop.
No,
Needless to say, I'm a fan.
I'll
Alan Wake.
I think I've got it installed. I was about to say I could check on my G Cloud. My Xbox is also right there. But
yeah, this is why I kept wanting you to play it so we can talk about it, because it was like I was playing it.
And I played the whole thing on this.
Oh, all right. I want to hear about that because obviously listeners will know I've got this.
Yeah, look, it's the same thing, right?
It's an Android tablet?
It's an Android tablet with a controller on it.
Yeah, perfect.
So you can buy anything off the Android store. RetroArch is on there. I've done some research. Scum VM is on there, although I haven't put any of my games on yet. I mostly use RetroArch for retro games, and it does play Scum, but you've got to rename everything in this weird convention, or it just puts every file into the list. You can be bothered doing that. And Xbox, of course. And you put it on, and I can hear my Xbox turn on in the other room.
It's cool, right?
Yeah,
because it does, but it doesn't turn on. It kind of like
it doesn't come on. That's right.
Yeah, it's neat.
Magnificent.
Cool. Has it got an SD card slot and all that kind of jazz?
It does have an SD card slot. And in fact, there's a strange thing where the current version of RetroArch for Android has trouble reading off of SD cards.
Yes. You have to install the nightly build from the website.
Yeah, that's right. So everything's on there. But I mean, there's like 64 gig or something on this actual thing. So it's enough.
Quite similar to the G Cloud, actually.
I'm sure it's exactly the same as the G Cloud. Just made in China.
The
G Cloud.
The G Cloud is also made in China. It's just
probably one marketed by an American. What are you making?
Company.
Yeah, that's right.
I'm making a G Cloud.
Yeah. Oh, I'm making a G Cloud too. No, I'm not to say the word G Cloud. Sorry.
Copyright.
Mine's black.
Yeah, and mine's white. So. Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Amazing. All right. So what are you going to get?
So much. Yeah. He's got the A Neo Next. Doesn't need any of these things.
Yeah. Good point. Yeah, fine.
I don't need to worry about streaming. I can just play it.
Yeah.
But I think your guys' battery life is better.
I've had no problem with battery life. I play it during the day. I charge it at night. It's never run out.
Yeah, I've never even noticed it, to be honest.
I think mine uses more power because it's got it's an actual
processor in there.
Yeah. I think the screen would be the main draw on this thing. Literally just powering the screen would be the...
Mostly just a screen, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like we're going to Vietnam in April. And
I'm
going to get some battery packs for the plane. Yes. I'm going to wait for... In April, I'll be disappearing for a couple of weeks. I might be on a podcast, who knows? Depends on...
Oh, okay.
Where in Vietnam are you going?
We're doing a tour we're going to Hanoi down to the bottom somewhere. I forget.
My brother lives in Hanoi now. Did you know that?
No.
Does he? I didn't know that.
Yeah, he lives there now.
Yeah, right.
Teaches English to
very cool
people in Hanoi.
And then go to Kuala Lumpur for a few days.
I'm going to Kuala Lumpur in May.
We might cross over.
Yeah, maybe I'll see you there. I assume we
to
both
another
have,
dimension.
We both
cross
have
over
in-laws in KL or nearby. Do we?
Yes.
Yeah. Right. Cool.
Mm.
Well, I'm going to New Jersey in April.
I'd like
to drive down there today.
I'm going down there for the Vintage Computer Festival East.
Oh, yes.
I might try and make some video content for that, actually.
Oh, you should, yeah. Because actually, nobody makes good content at those things. That people go to them and film.
I'm probably going to continue that trend, but we'll see. I don't know what I'm doing. In fact, maybe we should have a conversation about this. I said this to Jen.
Sure.
I was thinking I could film something, but I don't know what the fuck to do. I have no idea what to do.
No, fair enough.
Don't take your credit card with you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nah.
There's a whole consignment area where people bring all their old stuff to sell. So it's going to be. I'll be interested to see if it's stuff that's cheaper than on like eBay
online.
And
from what I understand, it is because I know guys who go to those things and they just go like, "Look, I've got fucking 4 of these in my basement. I'll just try to get rid of a couple."
And it's easier to sort of do it there than to worry about getting maybe scammed on eBay and then also having to do the shipping thing. And you be cash and you go away. Done.
You know what's funny? So I keep my eye on like retro computer and console stuff, right? And obviously for about 10 years, maybe more, 20 years after, say, the 80s, you could get a Commodore 64 for like $15 if you went to the right op shop, right? And now they're hundreds. They're $300, $400 because they've gone from shit and old to cool and old.
I told you about the fucking the TVs at the thrift shop near me. right? $400 for a CRT, and then they've got
I know,
big
right?
LCDs for like $50. I was like,
Yeah.
that's like
Mhm,
ridiculous.
mhm. Well, I've noticed because obviously it moves, right? And so it basically just depends on which generation are now monetized, working full time and stuff. Because I've noticed we're up to GameCube now. GameCube have started to increase in price.
Should have kept mine. I
I
sold
know,
it
right?
before we
'Cause
moved. I mean,
probably
I made quite a bit, but I could have
Did you?
made more.
Okay, yeah. Well, that's good. But you could, I mean, if you'd somehow known to hold on to it for another 5
Well, I told you
years.
this, right? I thought it's not going to be worth a whole lot. So I on eBay listed the GameCube and the Wii and all the games and all the controllers and everything, just everything. All
You
of
just
that.
want
All
it
that.
gone. And
Yeah, and
but you don't
I
need
put it like, because we're moving to America. I was like, I'm not going to take it because it's PAL. It's not going to work over there. Whatever.
Yeah.
So I listed it, started at 99 cents, no reserve, whatever I get, I can get. And then almost immediately I started getting messages from people saying, I'll give you $100 for it right now. My son really wants one and it's his birthday tomorrow. So I need to know right now. Tell me right now. And I was like, that's weird. Like I got 5 messages that all said shit like that. And I was like, something funny's going on. And then they just kept coming in. And then finally I got one message from somebody who said, hey, you're probably getting spammed right now. Those games are worth a lot of money. You should list all that stuff separately.
Oh, wow.
Just a heads up.
Such a nice person.
I said, I wrote back and I said, thank you so much. I said, do you want any of them? Like, I appreciate you being honest, kind of thing. And then he said, no, you list them.
$100 for it all right now.
It's my kid's birthday. No, but I made over $1,000.
Can you post to Nigeria?
I made over $1,000.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. That's great.
Yeah.
Great. So you did list them separately? Because it's a lot.
Yeah.
It's a big pain.
Yeah, like some stuff I had the Zelda Four Swords Adventure in the box with, it was a thing where you could literally connect your GameCube to your Game Boy Advance and like do stuff. And I had all the kit for it to hook it up and all that kind of stuff was all in the box. That went for a fair bit. And then a couple of like import games like Skies of Arcadia. I don't know. Yeah, it was, but like I had no idea. So it was not. I'm glad that guy.
This can play all the way up to PlayStation 2 emulated.
Yeah, it's amazing.
So like you
right?
can, like the Retroid can't do that.
Speaking of PlayStation 2, did you see the Silent Hill 2 remake footage?
Yes, I fucking did.
It looks nice.
No, I have not.
I can't believe I'm watching
looks
Silent
nice.
Hill.
Yeah, no, it looks real nice. I'm still a little worried that hopefully they get it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, the fragile masculinity of it.
Yeah, exactly. I just hope that it keeps all that. I mean, it looks beautiful, like the fog effects and that kind of stuff. Just looks like amazing. So I'm excited. And I saw they just put out a short Silent Hill game for free on the PS5. So I'm gonna have to play that this week.
Now this is exclusive to PlayStation, right?
I think so. Yeah. So I'll try and play it this week.
The Silent Hill 2 remake is not going to be exclusive to PlayStation, or it is?
Oh,
I'm trying to find it out right now.
Because I might have to acquire a PlayStation if that's the case, because I would very much like to play this.
I wonder if you could remotely play mine on that.
Oh, yeah.
We could try and see if that works.
Yeah. Or if this is on
if Sony's listening, we're definitely not going to do that.
No. But actually, there's a legal way to do that. I mean, not with your machine, but if it is on whatever Sony call their Game Pass Cloud service, I could sign up for that and then play it on their servers without.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, interesting. There's I played a game this week. I downloaded it, bought it months ago, called No One Lives Under the Lighthouse, which is this little horror game. But it's part of so there's this I think we've talked about this before there's this compilation that comes out each year called Haunted PlayStation 1, which is modern developers making horror games in the style of PlayStation 1 games, because we've talked about it, how there's just something wrong with that era of games that makes their horror games stand up where all their other games don't.
Yep.
So this one, you play as a lighthouse keeper on an island just by yourself, and just every night you've got to light the lamp and do all of this stuff, except there's something on the island with you, and it's just cool. It looks shithouse because it looks like Silent Hill basically. It was really fun. Yeah, I played quite a bit of it last week, and before I got back into.
I have good and bad news about Silent Hill 2 remake.
Go on.
It is coming to Xbox.
Okay.
timed release on the.
of
It's going to be
course.
exclusive to PlayStation for a while.
That's all right. I'll let other people play it and then fix all the bugs and
Yeah,
stuff
but
first before.
Sony's time releases are scaring me a little bit now because remember Final Fantasy VII, which I am dying to play. Sony just keep paying them to keep it an exclusive.
Well,
they were faster with Baldur's Gate than I thought they would be.
Well, Microsoft keeps keeping cheeky Starfield out of their hands, and there's some Starfield news this week too. But
That's different though.
why?
They brought the
Because they own Bethesda.
Yeah, so still.
But have you seen that they are looking at bringing some of the games to Nintendo and things like Hi-Fi Rush and the starting. I'm telling you, Microsoft is setting themselves up for the future generation of there being no consoles and it all being more streaming and they're preparing for that.
Yeah, I feel like that Sony thing they put out it's like a one of these that can only play your PlayStation, which I feel like is a bit of a miss, to be honest. But
well, it's a miss now that these exist, but I think when they announced that, we kind of scoffed at it. But if I didn't know about these things and they brought one out for Xbox and I could just play Xbox in my room, but it wasn't $1,000 extra and the price of a whole new console.
Well, it was the PlayStation thing that got me. Like, I think the reason Amazon was like, "Do you want one of these?" was because I was looking at the PlayStation one. So it's kind of they kind of led me to this. It must have been the same
because I was looking at Steam Decks, which is obviously not the same thing, but they were like, maybe this is better for you, and it's half the price.
Yes. Yeah. Because this was on sale, and Amazon was like, "What do you think of this?" And I was like, "I played one of those at PAX actually, and it was pretty cool. I'll have a go."
And now you own it, and remember when you got it, and you're going, "Maybe."
I was like, "I'm probably going to return this."
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, here it is. Let's see.
Yeah.
Oh, it's Android. I was like, it's Android. And my brain went, possibilities.
Yeah.
Like, I put YouTube on there. I put Netflix on there. I can put Plex on there. I can just download all my movies on my Plex on there. If I go on a plane, I can just use this for everything. Like, everything.
That's true.
Until my Vision Pro, which I've not bought a Vision Pro. They come out this week, but I haven't bought one.
What's a Vision Pro?
Luke. Apple Vision Pro.
Apple. I don't know Apple.
The new Apple headset that it's
what
not
the hell?
It's not virtual reality.
I could go buy one for $6,500.
Yeah. It's what do they call it? Something computing, spatial computing. I think they call it. Yeah.
Shit floating in front of you.
Augmented reality?
No, they're not using those words. In fact,
it is though. That's
they're not.
Exactly
If you're talking about it in the press, I mean, they're not going to care what we say because they didn't give us any. But if you're kind of official press for them, there's like a list of things you should and should not call it. You're not supposed to call it VR. Don't call it AR. Always refer to it as Apple Vision Pro, not the Vision Pro, or it's
or
Apple
like
Vision
Google
Pro.
Glass was going to be, but better.
Yeah, it's Apple Vision Pro, and it's spatial computing.
Spatial computing.
And you put it on.
Can I bring up a word processor and just do this and type?
I think you can. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's got like a virtual keyboard. Apparently it's shit, but it can.
I bet it is, yeah.
But you can put it on. Apparently, like if I'm sat here now and I popped mine on, right? So I could be doing stuff on it. And then if I look down at my laptop, a little thing will pop up above it and say connect. And then I can go, yep. And then my laptop screen goes blank and then goes like up in front of you.
And then you can move it out of the way.
And you can like make
Cruise.
it, apparently you can make it like, 13 stories high and.
Amazing.
Yeah.
What happens if you look at your dick?
In my case, it would have, I don't know that it's
13 stories high.
Yeah, the camera's not got a very wide angle.
It compacts it down.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly.
To the standard 13
it's
stories.
It's going to look like skin.
Do you remember when there was that?
This is ridiculous low.
Yeah, it's $3,500 here. So it's fucking expensive.
But to be clear, you have to already have a computer to run this off.
No. This is a standalone thing. Yeah.
Right.
No.
So this can be your computer.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, it doesn't do all the. It's like like when the iPhone came out and it could do stuff.
Oh yeah,
but it's not. It's like that.
Yeah.
This is Rev 1. Like people probably shouldn't be buying this unless they're super
by the second gen,
into
third
it for
gen
some
even.
reason. Yeah. One day we'll probably all have these, but
Not yet.
Do you remember when you just reminded me with the augmented stuff? Do you remember?
Mm.
You remember Pokemon Go when everyone was playing that, and you're finding little Pikachu running around
people
your house
still play
and stuff?
it.
I
Do
still
they?
play it.
Yeah. Do you remember when there was that trend of trying to get your Pokemons into pornographic situations? Like there was this whole subreddit
that trend in our house.
dedicated to like, look, here's Squirtle on my dick. Like, I'm doing my girlfriend from behind, and there's fucking I don't know any more Pokemons sitting on her back.
Diglett. Yeah.
If you've got Pikachu,
No, but I say to him first, then I say Squirtle, and then I'm out. After that.
Charmander
is okay. Yeah, that's one. I played it for a weekend. It was pretty fun actually
Psyduck.
because you'd go out to ridiculous places, and there'd be other people there going. Have you seen it? It's
Do you remember
here.
it was in what was that suburb where IKEA was near us?
Yeah.
Roads. And
Yep.
they literally had to redivert the buses because fuckwits were just literally blocking the street because it was like a Pokemon gym right there.
Funny. Yeah,
And
right.
like outside the shopping center. And so people, because the shopping centers there, you can go get a Starbucks and then apparently just stand in the fucking road and not move. And like they literally, there's news articles about it. They literally had to reroute the buses.
I understand how stupid people can be. Like,
So strange.
because I'm playing this thing on my phone, I can stand in the road.
Yeah.
Or trespass. I can climb this fucking fence.
That was a thing too.
Yeah.
Yeah, someone try to sue them and say, get this fucking Pokemon gym out of my house.
Because they used an existing map,
Yes.
I believe,
yeah.
that just
remember there
had
was-
locations on.
There was a place, ended up being a Pokemon gym in like a AFP place, which like secure place you can't get into.
Oh,
and people
yeah.
were trying to climb over the fence to get into it. And it's all like, how stupid are you?
That's so
Yeah.
funny.
They can't shoot us all.
Yeah, they can. The AFP will shoot you.
Yeah.
They're allowed. Look, I don't like Pokemon per se. Clearly, I don't know any names.
Oh,
But
racist.
like that type of game, like if you did a Lovecraft version of that, like if I could like, oh shit, there's a fucking Shoggoth in my kitchen, I'd be all over that.
Yeah, but how, like, the reason why Pokemon is because there's
I know.
hundreds of them. How many?
You have to
Have you,
throw your
like,
sanity
Just
at
keep
it.
making them up. Yeah, that's right. You go slow. The more insane you go, the
Yeah.
better the game is. Yeah.
Oh, very
There's
good.
something Lovecraftian about Graham Hancock, though. I think.
Yeah.
Because
yeah,
the
yeah,
Lovecraft thing is
He appeals
always
to that
about
side of my brain.
a scholar or some kind of antiquarian on the fringe who discovers secret knowledge. And I think that's why it's so appealing to people like us, even though we want to be able to let go of our reality that we're grounded in, because we want to be privy to secret knowledge. Like you read Lovecraft and they're like, oh, I'm studying ancient tomes.
Forbidden-
The university
forbidden
has let
writings.
me into there. And I'm like, I've been at fucking 2 universities and neither of them have offered me into the vault where they keep their sacred tomes.
Proving
Like,
yourself yet.
how do I get into that? It's like, they don't exist, Danny.
No.
No, he spends a lot of time at the beginning of every episode. One of the archaeologists pointed this out. And they're like, he spends 10 minutes at the beginning of each episode talking about how archaeologists fucking hate him and they're all lazy cunts and they won't listen to him. And then it's like, and he wonders why that we don't like him, but also we don't not like him. He just keeps saying that we don't like him.
Yeah, we have no opinion of him because he's not one of our peers.
But because it makes it sound more interesting if he says that.
He was a journalist first, right? He's not. He's not.
Yeah.
actually
He
an
was quite
academic,
a renowned,
which is why he's a good storyteller.
Yeah. And he's,
You know who else was a
very good
renowned
British-
journalist, Matt? David Icke.
I think quite similar. Yeah, and he's got a very good, he's got a good British accent. He's very, very.
Yeah, he
Sounds-
seems. It's like a professor's talking to you. It's
He
it's like
sounds
if
very intelligent when he says.
he's
this
not
stuff.
some middle America guy in a MAGA hat. He's
and
a British professor type telling you things.
and as you said, he's dialed it back, so he sounds much more reasonable than he would if he was saying this other stuff.
Yeah.
One of the funniest things I saw this week, there's a different archaeologist on YouTube, Milo Rossi, I think his name is. He's this young archaeologist guy. He's cool. His YouTube channel's very cool. But he said, yeah, Graham keeps talking about how he's archaeologist's worst enemy, but I've seen Indiana Jones and I know who archaeologist's worst enemy, and I hope he's not saying he's one of them.
Amazing.
Mm.
Amazing. I watched this. I know we keep kind of flogging the same dead horses, but I watched this great. There's this teacher in America who just films himself rebutting dumb questions that his students ask him and then putting them online. So there's the one that I watched. Yeah, I watched half a dozen, but one I watched was I make a student try and explain to me why J.K. Rowling is a transphobe, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so the camera's just on the teacher. You don't see the student. The teacher's just there, like fucking deadpan. And then the student goes, has the fact that J.K. Rowling is a known transphobe affected the way that you read the Harry Potter books? He's like, well, let's break that down. Is J.K. Rowling a known transphobe? He's like, yes, everyone says that. He's like, why does everyone say that? He's like, well, because of her transphobic tweets. He's like, find me the tweets, read out the tweet. So it skips while the kid fucking Googles for the tweet, right? And he finally finds the tweet and he is like, he reads it verbatim and he's like, it says something like, I love trans people. I'll march with you if your rights are infringed, but nothing you say is going to stop me self-identifying as a woman, right? And the teacher's like, right, and what's transphobic about that? And the kid's like, well, she says she's a woman. And he's like, right, but I think she also says you decide what you are and I'll decide what I am and we'll be cool with it, right? And he's like, yeah, that's what she's saying. He's like, so where's the transphobia? And he's like, oh, I think she's tweeted some other things. He's like, show me the other tweets.
I mean, she has,
so,
in the kid's defense, but yeah. Well, I mean, I think
but the teacher, not really. I mean, the worst thing she did for herself was that interview for that podcast, because if she just left it at the tweets and that essay she wrote, you could actually deconstruct it and find that she actually says very, very little.
I think a lot of it actually, probably she gets snarky when people say stuff to her, and some of it might be related to that I'm thinking of. Where she gets snarky coming back at people. She loses
me is when she starts talking about women getting raped in women's toilets by men.
Yeah, no, I don't support that at all.
And it's like, I don't think that happens. And if you can find an example of that happening, I'll believe you.
I think,
but I don't think that's the norm.
There's one,
but
unfortunately,
I think that's the exception that proves the rule, right?
Yeah,
but I'm pretty sure there's a lot of other, unfortunately, rape that happens not in women's prisons from people who aren't identifying, and it's just you can't use that.
Yeah, make sure of that.
As
you can rape a woman anywhere, anywhere you want. Unfortunately,
I want to change the subject, and I want to talk about the Dune 2 popcorn buckets. Have you seen these?
This is intense.
I have to get one of these.
It's still quite vaginal. You haven't changed the subject entirely.
I know. This is a popcorn bucket that looks like a sandworm coming out of it, and you have to put your hand in the sandworm's mouth with the little needle teeth. What's that?
You'll be able to get one of these. You will.
I am going to do my best to get one of these. 100%. Look at that fucking
you've got
thing.
AMC theaters near you, don't you?
I don't want this fucking thing in my house. I don't want one of these. This is the ugliest thing I've ever seen in my life.
I don't have an AMC theater right near me, but I'm sure there's almost certainly one that I can go to.
Make it work.
I'll just drive to the theater to get the bucket and watch Dune, somewhere. I'll probably watch it at IMAX in Providence.
The Sydney IMAX is finally finished.
Oh, sick. Oh, it looked cool last time I was there, actually. The building looked cool.
But it's been closed down for years.
Yeah. It wasn't open when I was there, but they were building it. It looked pretty neat.
Yeah, they've redone that whole area. I've not even been out there. I don't know what it looks like now.
Although I'm still got my fingers crossed that I'm going to get an invite to a screening of Dune 2. So.
Oh yeah.
I am going to say, like with this bucket, yes, it looks cool. You'll put your hand in once or twice and go, yeah, this is cool. And then that lid's coming off.
Yeah, so I can just get the popcorn out.
Yeah. And then you'll put your dick in it at least once.
Oh, yeah. What the hell? Why did my phone started making noise?
Goodness me.
But yeah, no, your dick's definitely going in.
Put your dick in was an audio cue for your phone to do something?
It must have been. I say it so often.
That's
and this thing looks great.
It doesn't.
Is this only AMC? Yeah. No.
I don't know. I saw AMC and I just assume
the merch I want now, just based on just circling back to Alan Wake 2,
yes,
is that they released an official Alan Wake coffee thermos that looks like the diner. What's the name of the diner? The Oh Dear Diner.
I mean, this looks great. I haven't played the game yet, but this looks neat. It looks very like
Yeah,
Old
it's
school.
cool, right? It's just this retro.
In fact, I've seen a screenshot. Isn't that diner the diner from Twin Peaks? Like
Essentially, yes. Yeah.
the layout. I saw a picture of it in the game, and I was like,
I think there's absolutely no.
Which is why I think
that's the Double D diner.
Yeah, I mean,
Right.
a lot of this game is Twin Peaks.
Well,
I
and
mean,
that's why I
if
think they
you like
have-
Twin Peaks and you like the work of Stephen King, then
Yeah.
you should mush them together, then you've got Alan Wake,
I even
really.
think that was what the first game like. It was like the coffee thermoses everywhere. It was a sort of like
Yeah.
throwback to Twin Peaks and the coffee and
Yeah.
Or the double R
this is
diner,
cool.
it?
Yes,
In
deer, as in the deer. And
Deer
but
that
if
you have
if
running
you
through
want
your
one,
backyard.
they're all. I think they're already sold out, and people are selling them for like $500.
I hate those
I
people.
am not willing to pay because I could probably find a blue thermos somewhere and a sticker and create my own.
So I bought this, right? This is it's a crash
Mhm.
override sticker and an acid burn sticker on there because I like
Mhm.
hackers.
Yeah.
This is a Stanley water bottle.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Yep.
I didn't know there was a craze, right? Have you heard about this
Yes.
craze?
Yes, I have.
I haven't.
People,
I didn't know about it. This was on clearance when I ordered some stuff, and I was like, "Oh, I need to keep my
Need a
water,
water bottle?
nice and cool.
Yeah.
I'll get
Stanley
one."
bottles are people are going crazy for
People go
them.
fucking nuts for him. So I bought it, and then Jenna got home and she was like, "Oh, not you too." And I was like, "What?" She said, apparently all the apparently all the
all the hipsters.
I said, "Oh, is it like a Karen thing?" I don't think it is, but it's it's a big thing. And then now the big thing apparently is that
Putting stickers on them.
not putting stickers on them. Somebody, apparently this is a thing, right? These are sealed, right? They're like double wall insulated, right? And there's a seal. And a lot of these, not all of them, but a lot
They
of
are
them
actually quite good.
use lead solder inside there to seal the two walls, right? And it's encased in a stainless steel. But somebody found out
This episode
That-
sponsored by
by
Stanley.
Stanley. No. There's no issue with them, right? Let's be clear about that. But somebody found out that they use lead solder and
Right.
Stanley in particular do use it. A
Oh,
couple
now
other
it's a
companies do
thing.
use it. Some companies don't use it, right? So it's become a thing. And people are buying these cheap ass fucking lead swabs off Amazon that
Oh,
are like
God.
garbage, swabbing the inside and going, "Oh, it says there's lead in there."
I'm
And Stanley's
drinking
like-
lead.
And Stanley's like, "There's no lead in there. We promise you.
Yeah.
It's not possible." Right?
But yeah,
you
no,
want to get the
people-
lead out of that, you're going to have to smash the thing open and start licking the.
Yeah, which you
But
probably can't do. It's very sturdy.
Yeah.
Here's how popular there will be like limited editions, and people will go and line up from like midnight to wait for the store to open to see
Wow.
if the delivery has
Jeez,
one
man.
of
Bottles.
the
I don't think I
ones.
drank water till I was 30.
Because I looked it up afterwards and
Well,
people
this
do, they
is
have every
for
color.
30-year-old women.
Yeah, but kids drink water.
Or
Like my daughter takes
43-year-old men.
my daughter takes a water bottle everywhere she goes. You know what I mean? Like she
Yeah, yeah.
has. They drink water.
I don't
Yeah.
drink water at all.
And let's be clear, this
No.
is a very good insulated
sorry.
water bottle. Right? I can
Funny
put ice in there in the morning. There's still going to be ice in there at lunchtime.
That's
Like,
what- they are
okay.
really good.
I'd like to
I
be
know-
able to do that. I drink coffee until I
Mhm.
switch over to V, and then I drink
I've got a
V
Yeti for
until
the
I switch
coffee.
over to beer. So
Mm.
like I don't really drink a lot of just plain water, but they're all
There's
water
plenty of
based.
Water in coffee,
Exactly.
plenty of water in
My
beer.
body's 80% water. I'm already practically too much water.
I used to think, I had a Yeti, you know, the Yeti tumblers.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And
Oh, I remember
I think I got it for Christmas or something. And it's fucking great. But I never used it at home because I was
Mm-hmm.
like, I'll just use a mug. But then I found like my coffee does always get cold. So
Yeah,
I was like, I
that's
just started using the Yeti at home. And then now, like, if you close that thing, that coffee's fucking hot, 4 p.m.
yeah, right. Huh.
Good stuff. This episode
Yeah.
brought to you by Stanley and
Yeah.
Yeti.
Yeah,
Well, I'm
actually-
looking at
'cause I-
I'm looking at thermoses now because I want to see if I can get a thermos that looks exactly like this one, but not $500, and then see if I can
Mm.
get myself a sticker.
But yeah, no, the reason why I know it's is because Moist Critical did a thing about it, like where he was
Oh,
like,
yeah.
talking about how people are going crazy for it, and then he got one and went like they are actually good.
Yeah. Yeah, no, like I said,
Yeah.
I think this was, I don't know what it was, like $10 or something on clearance. I don't know why. I just saw it and I was like, oh yeah, I'll have that. And then,
Well, I think that's part of their market is they release a lot, you release limits, so some do really well and some
Mm.
don't, and then you want to try get new ones in because people are buying want to keep buying them because they're a new thing.
yeah.
Market.
Well, I want to make it clear that I didn't even know that was a thing and I'm not trying to
And
get
thank
in,
you for
not
the
trying to get in on
sponsorship.
that. Yeah, but if Stanley does want to send us some more, I'll happily drink liquids out of them.
I imagine putting a gin and tonic in one that big.
That'd be a
Amazing.
big gin and tonic. Look, speaking of deep discounts, apparently if I go to Walmart, I can get a copy of Starfield real cheap. Is this true?
If you go to the bins behind Walmart, you might be able to just see a few copies there.
All right.
Because they have said they have reduced the physical copies, as low as they possibly can without just throwing away money. And if they don't sell at this price, they will literally just put these in the bin. But
so is this a thing that they just do? It's just that Starfield is...
Yeah. I think they do this with excess stock anyway. It's just that no one thought a game like Starfield, which was pretty promised to be, was going to literally be so unpopular that they would just be binning copies of it.
Honestly, no, I don't think it's that it's popular. I think they ordered too many because
it could be they just overestimated.
It's a Bethesda game, big Bethesda game coming out. We need to get a lot of these, but most people are playing it on Game Pass.
Yes.
Or if you are buying it, you're buying the digital. Or if you were buying a physical copy, people were buying like the limited edition version, not just the normal standard.
Sure. Well, when was the last time you bought a physical copy of a game?
I brought the limited edition Starfield.
Yeah, not limited edition. Like, not to get stuff.
It would probably be
a case with a disc in it.
Because I was about to say, I have gotten cheap games from Walmart.
Fallout 4 was my last one.
Duck Dynasty.
The game?
Because
there's a game of Duck Dynasty?
Yes.
What do you do?
They didn't release it
I'd be interested in this.
You grow a beard.
They didn't release it in Australia, so when I was in America, I brought a copy for $5.
I think I bought Alien Isolation from Walmart for $5 at some point. And that might be the last physical game I bought.
Secondhand.
No.
That's
new.
the thing. Like,
So that's why I was about to say that
this is why they're going in the bin,
they do sell them cheap. Yeah.
Physical copies do get marked down quite a lot.
I mean,
copies never reduced price.
I think the game had been out a while at that point, but I still, even at the time, I remember thinking, "Oh shit, that's cheap. I'm gonna get it." Or possibly a Switch game. Maybe I bought something on the Switch, physical.
But I don't think this is sort of a like, hey, this game didn't sell well or anything like that. I think this is just
Walmart bought too many.
Yeah, sure. Well, but I think this is probably also indicative of a larger problem, which is that people aren't buying physical discs, and that you can't expect to be able to buy the same quantity of something that you used to be able to.
Well, that's what we spoke about last week with the Microsoft layoffs that are happening. I did look into it a little bit more. Part of the layoffs that are happening is in their physical discs. They're going to outsource that now. Because you're not really focused on physical anymore. So that's part of the layoff.
Psychological discs.
Yeah. I wish I wasn't so focused on the physical.
That's what the ancient Atlanteans used to use.
Yeah, psychological discs. Yeah. The crystal
cube.
Like
the physical media it's gone. Like you got, I think like EB Games and Game looking at not doing trade-ins anymore.
Yeah.
So there's really no incentive.
They used to be quite lucrative for them.
Yeah, and I know a lot of people used to buy they would buy physical because they know I'm going to play it and then trade it in. That's why they did it.
I think one of the first articles on the Multiple Nerdgasm website, back when it was just a website and we used to post articles, was something about how the used game market was bad for developers. I don't remember.
I think you might be right.
I don't remember who wrote it or what the specifics were, but I do recall
whether we were pro or con.
Yeah, we had an article about it on there. That's all I
was
remember.
Always against it.
Yeah. I remember what Luke's first article was.
Yes.
Luke Skywalker is evil?
Yeah.
Yep. Murdered all those people in that barge.
There's this great channel, I think it's called Star Wars Explains, and it's just a Star Wars apologist who has an encyclopedic knowledge of canon and legend. And he just goes through everything that might be considered a discrepancy in the original Star Wars, and then explains it in world why that would be the case. Why Lars Owen doesn't recognize C-3PO, why Obi-Wan doesn't recognize R2, why he says he never owned a droid where he clearly owned many other droids. Like this, and he's got an answer for all of them. And he knows it's tongue in cheek. So he's like, obviously the real reason was because they didn't consider this when they made the movie. But but he goes, but the in-universe answer, and he cites references too. So he's like, in this book they explain it, and in this, like, why does there's a one I didn't even notice this. Why does Princess Leia have an English accent when she's talking to Tarkin? And I didn't notice this, but she does put an English accent. And evidently she got called out on it. And there's an interview where she says, I was so intimidated working with Peter Cushing that I just did my acting voice and it sounded like I was being British. And then the rest of it, I was just talking American with the rest of the cast. But there's a book that said she purposely put on his accent, mimicked it back at him to show his disdain for his class. Right. So there are in-world explanations for everything.
Well, is there an in-world explanation for his slippers?
I love his slippers.
I saw I saw the interview with him where he talked about that the other day. It popped up on YouTube.
Wearing my slippers.
So I was wearing these riding boots, and after the first day I said to George, I'm in agony. Can we just not film below the waist? And George said, sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And literally, Tarkin is literally just wearing slippers.
Yeah.
The whole movie.
I will make you happy because you're one of our biggest stars on this.
Yeah. The scene in the blimp in Last Crusade, neither of them are wearing pants. There's just them sitting at the table talking to each other. And it's like, when was the last time we shared a drink? It's like, you left just when you were getting interesting. That scene, apparently it was really hot under the lights as a soundstage. And Sean Connery was like, is it waist up? And Spielberg's like, yeah. And he's like, well, then I'm taking off my pants because it's fucking hot in here. And he just took off his pants. And then Harrison Ford was like, well, if he's wearing pants, I'm not wearing pants. Took his pants off as well, weatherman style.
Right.
And
no pants.
Yeah. So just know when you watch that scene.
I will know from now on. Fucking that movie's great. It's got like we've done this, but I was gonna say it's got bits where it's like, I can see the crystal skull coming kind of thing in some of the gags, but it's just still so good.
It's funny because Raiders is so pin perfect serious tone all the way through.
It's incredible.
To the point where he's doing ridiculous things so seriously that it makes it good. Like that's why it was good. Then in the second one, they were like, let's ramp up the comedy and have this like wacky one-liners like a James Bond movie, but we'll also have way darker stuff like people having their fucking hearts ripped out and shit. And then in the third one, they're like, let's not do that anymore, but let's still lean into the comedy. And so you get a strange hybrid of the two.
Yeah, 100%.
All right. We're coming to the end, but I think before we finish up on the main show, I think we should go to our follow-up news and discuss Alex Baldwin.
Oh,
sure. Well, there's two bits of Baldwin news, right? So, number one,
which I don't know. This I think this is already. I remember this being true at the beginning. So they alleged that the armor brought live bullets on set. Now I remember when we first heard about the shooting on the Roche set, there was rumors about them taking the guns off and shooting and messing around with the guns. So this. I don't know. This sounds sort of true to me that this could be a case.
Well, she denies it. I think that's why there's an argument here. Is that just she flat out denies it? But yes, so you're right. Before anyone was talking about anything, when somebody said someone was shot on the Rust set, before we knew any details, the first detail that came out was the crew had been shooting cans earlier that day, right off set, and then everyone said no, that didn't happen. But evidently now it's come out that yes, there were bullets brought to the set. People are saying, no, like we were encouraged to just go off and shoot these guns in between takes if we wanted to.
That's fucking stupid, isn't it? Like, probably about the most stupid thing you could do on a film set with guns.
If you had one rule about guns, man. It would be no real bullets,
Jesus
right?
Christ. Yeah. I mean, what could possibly go wrong?
Yeah. Why would you have a no bullets rule? It doesn't make it. What is this nanny state?
Yeah, we'll never know. We'll never know what the purpose of that rule was.
That's right. Yeah, or what the consequences would be if you did break that rule.
Yeah, unfortunately, no lessons have been learned here.
That's right. All you do is have one, and we keep another dead horse we keep flogging.
Yeah.
I still think all Alec Baldwin had to do was come out going, A, not my job to know if there's bullets in the gun.
Yes.
B, shouldn't have been bullets in the gun under any circumstances. And C, like, there should not be any way to even combine the two things. Like, it should just be prop guns. Yes, I pulled the trigger. Yes, I was pointing at someone. I was told to do that.
His position should have been the entire time, there is no reasonable reason I should ever have suspected that
that was
were fucking bullets anywhere near me, let alone in the gun.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, SAG
He should have just left it at that.
The Screen Actors Guild have come out and said it is not, and quoting, it is not an actor's job to be a weapons expert.
Yeah.
So they are standing and they are saying that there's prop and gun people, what are they called, armorers on the set for that specific reason.
Remember when people were talking like, oh, they should now give actors training so they know when they pick up a gun that they know the weight's different, so they know it's.
I mean, look, if you want to do that, fine, but like, you know,
but still don't make it
not
their
how it was.
responsibility. Yeah. And if you do that, do it just as an extra layer of security. Don't do it so that it's like, Alec Baldwin, you're in charge of this now. Like,
yeah, but and because people are going, no, if you're holding the gun, it's always your responsibility. It's like, yes, but this was a specific scenario where that's never been the case. It's been like this for how many fucking years have we been making movies? 100 years or whatever, right? There's a person there whose job it is, right? This is not at home where he was like, oh what's this thing?
Yeah,
Kinda, like,
it's his responsibility to listen to the armorer who says, cold
it's
gun.
supposed to be a very controlled environment. And somebody fucked up, and
this can become Baldwin's sort of responsibility thing is if he knew that they were fucking around, and
he was the producer,
and he
didn't fire someone.
Yes, that's the only time that
100%.
I think if he knew that was happening.
Because here's the thing that no one's talking about too. Because this armor is saying they're not my bullets, not mine. Okay, fine. Even if all that's true, it's still your responsibility to check.
Yes. Should have checked the gun.
One person. So even if you're saying other people brought their own bullets knowing I'd have real guns, your gun should be put that safe until you take it out and you only load it with your blanks that you take out of a new packet of blanks and you hand it to Alec Baldwin and say, here's how you do this. It's fully blanked. I've checked it.
Yes. Or if someone further up the chain overruled that, well, then you need to fucking say who that was, because then it's their fault.
That's right.
Like if the first AD went rogue and grabbed the, and excluded
like
you
on the
from
Crow.
that.
The armorer was not there because they were not supposed to use guns for that scene. They decided to shoot extra scenes to try to make up some time, and so they just grabbed the gun and did it, and look what fucking happened.
Yeah.
And that's why there's rules.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. And currently, the rules don't say Alec Baldwin needs to be a weapons expert. If they want to change the rules to say that, fine, I guess.
Unfortunately,
it's going to change things.
Made it more complicated by trying to argue that he didn't, that the gun just malfunctioned.
He should not have done that interview.
No, he shouldn't. I think my opinion is that he genuinely thought that because he was in shock or something, but it just seems like that's not the case.
Yeah.
And he shouldn't have said anything.
Shouldn't have said anything.
And I assume his lawyers told him not to, and he didn't listen.
Yeah.
Because I can't imagine his lawyers were like, no, you should definitely do that interview.
Yeah.
That would be a great idea.
Go out in public and just tell your sort of story and put yourself into a corner that you can't.
I'm going to tell them that the gun malfunction. Did the gun malfunction? I don't know. I'm just going to say it. Oh, yeah. Sure. Sounds great. Good idea.
Yep. You do that.
You know what? Go ahead.
No. I wanted to get this out in the main show because we have
no, put it away.
It's main show story. It always has been.
Put Glacial Maximus away.
It's Roman now too.
Did I change it?
Glacius Maximus. Well, it was just Maximum before, but now it's Maximus.
Let's now migrate over
Glacius Maximus Meridius.
The after party.
Yeah.
Dick to a murdered wife.
But that's it. Not the murdered son.
Nah. You know where there's no malfunctions? The after party, which is
it works perfectly over there.
Where you can get more show
early all the time on the after party.
You can get more show. If you like what you heard, go to multiplenerdgasm.com/afterparty or patreon.com/multiplenerdgasm. And for free, you can subscribe and get the show in the audio and video format sent to you every week. For $1 a month, you can get it all a day early. And for $5 a month, you can get the after party.
Mhm.
where we just keep talking. And we've got some Geeks of the Week candidates for Luke this week.
Can I
among
also
other
have a
things.
rant about something that annoys me that's not in the spreadsheet?
Sure, yeah. In the
Yeah.
after party, you mean, right? Not
Yeah,
now.
yes, yeah, no, in the after
cool.
party.
Good.
Okay.
All right. Well, if you want to know what that is,
Mm.
go to those places that I mentioned before.
And give us money.
That too. Yeah. That is key.
That's all for this week. Thank you for listening and we hope you enjoyed the show. If you enjoyed it, then please subscribe in iTunes to receive episodes automatically. We'll see you next time.